Welcome to Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks. I'm, of course, Dr. Kush, along with my barback Kyle. I'm not a real doctor, but I did spend almost 2 decades running some of LA's best bars. After years of teaching classes and training bartenders, I want to demystify the cocktail world for you. Let's try a few new things as I open up my bar to everybody. Belly up, chat, and let's have a drink. Welcome, everybody, to Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks. Sorry about the delay. My goodness, my USC Trojans are, we'll say it right out to this camera right here. They are very bad in the first half. And it really drives me crazy. We are tied right now with the Minnesota Golden Gophers 10-10 after that last second kick. But good news for almost everybody. Vanderbilt beat Alabama today in kind of a hilarious game. So way to go, Vandy. Way to go. Still Bama. Not anymore. Okay. What are we doing today? We are going to also, fun enough, we are also heading to the SEC of the Southeastern Cocktails. The SEC. We're heading that way because we are making one of the most famous SEC Southeastern cocktails of all time. You got to think about it. If you really sit down and think about it for a second, and I don't recommend thinking about this for long, let me do the thinking. You guys do the watching. Think about it like this. The Sazerac, the Ramos Gin Fizz. That has to be the big two. If you want to give me a second, this is Georgia and Bama right here that we're talking about, and clearly they flip. Then suddenly you get the hurricane coming in there. That's Vandy. That's Vandy, and they just destroy everybody. What is going on? College football is the best. Okay, that's what we're making today. We are going to be making a Ramos Gin Fizz 2 different ways. One, the correct and righteous way. You notice, moments ago, I said we're making 2 cocktails when we all know the rules of this show. I try and get you out by half an hour on Tuesday, Thursday, and an hour on Saturday. And on Saturdays, we try our very best to make 3 cocktails. 2 cocktails a day. How come? Because we're going to be making the Ramos Gin Fizz the correct way, and we are going to be shaking it for as long as they recommend. How long is that? Legend says it goes 15 minutes. Now, that's crazy that we're going to be shaking a cocktail for 15 minutes. We're not going to be doing that, but we are going to be shaking this cocktail for a long time. Then we are going to use a modern invention in order to make this a much, much faster cocktail. That's what we got. Some of you have written me privately. You guys can always just write this in the chat. We can all, hang out, talk in the chat. That my voice sync has been off. Has anybody noticed that? And also, how is the voice sync now? It's tough to know. Kyle told me about it a little while ago, but he's always joking about stuff. And then Paul told me about it recently. Some of you others have also reached out. How's the voice sync? Feel good? Good. I feel good. You let me know. Speaking about syncing. It's a horrible transition. Let me say hello to the people. Unfortunately, Moose, I know that you were here first, but I did not record your little thing. I had not started my chat yet. So first person here tonight, Shawnee Panabaker. Good evening. Here's Moose, though, right here. Giving us a hello to everybody. Cheers to you, Moose. Let's give Moose his proper Moose call. Not there. It's under animals. Dr. Kush. I'll show you guys what I'm looking at here. You guys want to see this? This is what it looks like. This is my little board. Up here, it says Dr. Kush drinking. This is Dr. Kush exclamations. This is Dr. Kush animals. Under animals, if we go up here, we see a little war horn. That's my moose call. Right here we see dolphin. Oh, right here we see dolphin. That's what this looks like. I don't know if you guys are interested in that. Anyway, Moose, there you go. DC David Clark, winner of the 2023 Kushtucky Derby. Hey-o! Davey Virtue, we put out of nowhere, we came back with the shorts game, and we gained 5 subscribers over the past few days. We are now, so the reason I bring this up, Davey Virtue was our 2,000th subscriber. We are now at 2,159. We were at 2,160, and then clearly I offended somebody, and they left. And that always breaks my heart. I hate losing one, more than I like gaining 4. And that's not a good way to think about any of this. But 2,159 subscribers. This is basically Madison Square Garden. I mean, more or less. If you think about, like, if you consider infinity to be a real thing. Let me say a little Kyle Tender KT. Hello. Dougie G, howdy y'all. Dougie G also said the 3 best words you can. Fight on. I said 3 words. There's an extra word in there that unless you're a Trojan, you don't know what it is. Fight on, everybody. Cheers. And let's go USC beat the Minnesota Golden Gophers. My wife absolutely laughed at the name Golden Gophers today. She doesn't watch a lot of football. Take your time, Dr. Kush. A proper Ramos Gin Fizz cannot be made in a rush. Well, we're going to see about that. We're going to try and make one as quick as possible. Sipping on a zombie tonight. DC, I love to hear what you're sipping on. Good work. Zombies, always nice. Zombie takes about as much time in prep as a Ramos, but certainly much easier to make. I guess Doug is leaving for the Southwest in 30 minutes. I hate to break it to Dougie G. I know where he lives. About as Southwest as you get. So hopefully you'll hang out. Delay of game, David Virtue calls on me just because I'm watching a football game while I should be doing a show. You're right. Hello, UF Marco Resident Gator. Did not watch how the Gators did or how they are going to do. Let's find out how they do at some point. Couldn't figure it out. Paulie Bellinardo. Paulie Bellinardo gave me a birthday gift. Finally got a hold of Paulie. I finally went over to Paulie, his place. Strange enough, Paul gave me vodka. I love it. I'm very excited to do this vodka. It's still slightly off sync, but closer. Oh, if it's still slightly off sync, but closer, I can fix that. 1 second. Let's maybe move it up to 30. I was at 15. We'll double it. Check, check. How we go? Mr. Bones on tour. Hello, Mr. Bones on tour. Wow. What a name. Mr. Bones. You want to see Mr. Bones, you know, at his home stadium. That's one thing. This is not that. Mr. Bones big enough that he can fill out arenas outside of his normal living area. Good for you. Oh, do we see Kim K? Kyle's lawyer is in the house. Not ideal. Someday I want to be as cool as Moose and warrant a dedicated sound. We'll find you one. We'll find you one. Oh, strong water equal SCW equals strong water. That's what I thought. Okay. Either way. Oh, and Susan is here. Cheers to Susan. Good. I just found out that my childhood unicycle went to Goodwill. I mean, I was devastated these past few days. I've got to find out about it on the live show. Weeping. Okay. Let's get into this cocktail. A lot of these cocktails that I talked about, you know how I like to talk about the history of cocktails, how cocktails have history, how it wasn't just, this cocktail hasn't existed since the beginning of time. They all come into existence at some point, the first time we ever see them written about. A lot of the time, I will have to preface that by saying, hold on, easy does it. We were all drinking at the time, and it's important that we remind ourselves that these histories may not be all that solid. Not this one. Not this one. We know exactly who created this cocktail. We know an awful lot about this cocktail. I don't know what it was about Henry, Hank, Charles, Carl Ramos. Hank is not a thing. Everybody named Henry. If my name was Henry, I would want you to call me Hank. My name is not Henry, so don't call me Hank. But his name was Henry Charles, but he went by Carl Ramos. And he was a bartender, and he was a bar owner, and he was a bar visionary, and he created this cocktail. It eventually became the Ramos Gin Fizz. But that is not the name. This is not the name of the drink that Hank Carl Ramos wanted this thing to be called. Absolutely not. He did not name it after himself. He did not name it the Ramos Gin Fizz. Absolutely not. He named it, surprisingly, he named it something even more auspicious, even more snooty, even more bourgeoisie. The name of this cocktail originally was called, and this is awesome, the One and Only. What a name for a cocktail. 1888 rolls around. He puts a little bit of a cream, a little bit of egg, some gin, some lime, some orange flower water, perhaps a little bit of vanilla. into a cocktail, and he calls it the one and only. That name never took off. Everybody wanted to just name it after the dude, the guy, the man, the Hank, the Carl, the Ramos, and it became the Ramos Gin Fizz. I think the Hank Carl Gin Fizz would have been much better. That's not what we did though. Okay, this cocktail absolutely. If you do a poll of bartenders that have never worked in a real high-end bar will tell you their least favorite drink to make is the mojito, and I totally understand that. The mojito is messy. The mojito is labor-intensive. It is often returned because a couple extra scrapes, a couple extra those of the mint is going to bring out too much chlorophyll. With too much chlorophyll, unfortunately, you are going to get a way bitter taste. It's very difficult to make simple syrup that has mint in it. It's very difficult to make anything that has mint in it because mint is very particular. So I get it. I get it. A lot of people hate making the mojito. For those of us that have worked in a high-end bar, either a fast-paced high-end bar or a slow-paced high-end bar, or anything where you are not in a casual conversation about cocktails with the people sitting at the bar, you are instead at a weird battle because everybody thinks that once they've read one cocktail book, they want to come in and test your knowledge on all that stuff. If you ever worked in a battle bar, we will start calling these, you will know that the Ramos Gin Fizz is one of the most difficult cocktails to make. Eventually, when you get over that hump, you'll realize it's the old-fashioned because everybody hates how you make the old-fashioned. But the Ramos Gin Fizz is the most labor-intensive. It is the most particular. A ton of stuff can go wrong in this cocktail. You can absolutely undershake. You can absolutely overshake. You can absolutely mispour some soda water. All kinds of things can go wrong with this cocktail. So today we are only making 2 cocktails. We are making the Gin Ramos Fizz 2 times exactly by the book, my book. We're going to be making it the way that Hank Carl said to make it. And then we're going to be putting a little bit of vanilla in it because I like vanilla in my Gin Ramos Fizz. We're going to be making one the old-fashioned way where we're going to be shaking it for a long time. I mean, this is going to get a comically long shake. So get ready for that. Maybe we'll put on the game while I'm doing that. And then the other one is going to be made in one of these. This we call these, I don't exactly know what they're called. Maybe a cream whipper. I call them the ISI whipper, but ISI is like calling tissue Kleenex. It's like calling a hot tub a jacuzzi. It's like calling a those are the 2 that I can think of right now. Don't make me think of 3. 2 is fine. Anyway, we are going to be shaking one, and we're going to be making one with the help of our very good friend of the show, dinitrous oxide. So get ready for that. We're going to start with the first one because it takes the most amount of time. We're going to start over here. To make this for a long time, Hank Carl Ramos was very secretive about his recipe. Eventually, he did let everybody know exactly how to make it. I think that's probably the way to do it. Hold your recipes while you're alive and then spread them out into the world once you die. We're going to take one of these lemons right here, all right? We're going to start by cutting off the nublins. The nublins, of course, the outside little goblins that sits here. Get those out of here. We're going to slice this in half. Looking great. Looking beautiful. We're going to take our multi-tool right there. And we're going to squeeze in. And let's keep it honest. Let's keep it real. We're going to be putting in ½ ounce of lemon juice. Oh, boy. Look at that. ½ ounce almost exactly. We are also going to be putting in ½ ounce of lime juice. Now, we could, of course, put in the lime juice the way that we do when we're just dealing with lime juice to get all that limey ness from it by, slicing down the moons and all that. Not today. Not today. We have a lot of shaking ahead of us, and this is going to get really annoying. We're going to go ahead and put in ½ ounce of some lime juice. That, my friends, will not be enough. There we go. Half an ounce of lime juice. Put this here. We need to sweeten this up. Fizzes at first, or maybe, I don't know, fizzes in their essence can be broken down into a couple different cocktails with some soda water. This one is more or less just a version of a sour. So we're gonna take our simple syrup. We're gonna be putting in 3/4 of an ounce. Let's put this away. 3/4 of an ounce of some simple syrup. Cool. Cool. That is that's a sour right there without the alcohol, honestly. Let's put the alcohol in here. Normally we would put these in some better form, but instead today we're gonna go ahead and put this in. Now I am using, here's the deal. The gin that I normally use, this Martin Miller's, is great. It's very nice. But it is not a tried and true London dry. Let's just make sure that this is. Yes, it is not a tried and true London dry fizz. So we wanted, London dry gin. This is not a tried and true. That is not a true tried and true London. The Martin Miller. Let's just talk honestly. The Martin Miller is not a tried and true. It is not a real London dry gin. This is, I don't know why it took so long to say that. This is a real London dry gin. We're going to be putting in 2 ounces of a London dry gin. Perfect. Kick it out of second gear, will you? Exactly. My goodness. I gotta figure this out. Tripping over words. It's all higgledy-piggledy. You know, the USC Trojans going into halftime tied with the Gophers at 10. Don't care for it. Don't care for it. It's got me all higgledy-piggledy. Okay. Now we gotta meringue this. We gotta absolutely meringue this. How are we gonna meringue this? Well, we're gonna start with the egg, and we're gonna bring in some of this delicious Trader Joe's heavy cream. When you are making a cocktail that involves eggs, it is important that you do not crack it into the place here that has the alcohol and the liquid. Don't do it. If you can make it every single time, that is awesome. It doesn't matter. It's not going to change the flavor of the drink. However, if you are like me and humanoid, basically Homo sapien, you will make mistakes eventually, and you will crack either the shell or the yolk into your drink. You gotta throw the whole thing out. Can't do it. So crack it into the other version. This is a tips and tricks. It's a late call for the tips and tricks. This is the tips and tricks. All right, here we're gonna take our egg, crack it right here on the side. We're going to, there we go. We're gonna crack this open. And then we're going to use the old flippy floppy. I call this the flippy floppy technique. Flippy floppy. We're going to flip it into here. And we're going to flop it into here. Flip it into here. Flop it into there. Flippy floppy. Then we're going to dunk this in here. We're going to put this right here. And we're going to remind Kyle. Kyle, remember, I have eggs right here. Kyle, remember that. Thank you. Okay. We have 2 ounces of gin. We have half an ounce of lime. We have half an ounce of lemon. We have 3/4 of an ounce of some simple syrup. We need now to get our heavy cream working. I'm gonna give this heavy cream a shake. It seems a little chilly. All the cream has risen to the top, as that saying normally goes. We don't need much. We don't need much. We need half an ounce of some heavy cream. We put that in the wrong thing, but that's okay. Keep our heavy cream nice and chilly. And there we have it. This is the basic formula for how to make this. However, there's something that a lot of bartenders will forget on this because it doesn't show up in a lot of recipes, and it doesn't show up really as a big flavor in here, but it is definitely noticeable if you forget to put in the orange flower water. This is orange flower water. If you want to make your own orange flower water, it's very simple. It's incredibly simple. Get an orange tree. Wait until the one day of the year when the orange tree has all its blossoms and they all fall out. Catch all of those blossoms. Put those blossoms into some distilled water. Let them sit for about 3 weeks. Filter all that out, and you have orange flower water. Otherwise, you can just buy it from the Fee Brothers. Very simple. 2 big dashes. This stuff goes a long, long way. 2 big dashes of some orange flower water. Hold it like this. Flip it upside down. 1, 2. There we go. It is very, very perfumey, this stuff is. So if you overdo it with the orange flower water, you could be in some real trouble. We're going to pour this together. Box these together. There we go. Now, this is not how everybody does it, but I like it. This is vanilla. This is just some homemade vanilla extract. It is in some 151. I put some vanilla beans into it, and I made some homemade vanilla. A few drops. Really, it just makes the whole thing a little creamier. You don't have to do it. I just like it. There we go. We didn't even drop the whole dropper in there. In here, and here we go. Now, Hank, Henry, Charles, Carl Ramos would not shake these himself. This was not a thing where he would shake this cocktail himself. In fact, he wouldn't even have his bartenders shake them himself. Hank Ramos eventually hired basically half of New Orleans to make these cocktails for him. He would have what he called either the Shaker Boys or the Shaker Men. I don't know what the difference between the two was. The Shaker Boys or the Shaker Men, and they would stand behind the bar, stand behind the bartenders. Bartenders would make the drink. They'd pass it to one end of the Shaker Boys, the Shaker Men, and they would shake it until their arms got tired, and then they would pass it to the next person. How many Shaker Boys did he have? Up to 15. That's a lot. That's an awful, awful lot. That almost seems crazy. Let me answer this question real quick. Moose asked, Dr. Kush, do you have a substitute for orange flower water? It's impossible to get hands on. Yeah, I do have a substitute for that. First of all, Amazon does sell it, so I don't know what Amazon is like where you are, but if you do not have orange flower water, the outside oils of an orange will substitute for it. Just make sure you are squeezing at least the oils of one orange into it to get the right orange flavor that you want. Yes. About to run to Total Wine for an impulse buy, says Dr. Taco. But since I was online, he stopped in. Thanks, buddy. Let me also say hello to our good friends. One second. There's a whole story up here. He says, he likes his cocktail. He mentioned that this was one of the first cocktails he ever saw me make. This was the drink where Kush taught me how to shake. There we go. Well, we're about to do it again. Notice that I have no ice in this thing. This is because we are going to start our cocktail with what is called a dry shake. Now, I'm going to batten down this hatch right here. We do not want any of this liquid getting out. So this is, let's bring in batten down the hatch cam right here. You can see that it's, oh yeah, there you go. See that curve? That's not a camera aberration. This is because this side is flat and this side is round. We want this very, very close tight because we do not have any ice in here yet to seal this. We really want to get this shake going. Now, the original one called for 15 minutes. That's impossible. I will die. He used to have whole shaker boys, a line of them that would do it for 15 minutes. We are going to shake this cocktail for at least 1 minute without the ice and probably 2 minutes with ice. So here we go. This is the easy one. This is the dry shake with no ice and nice and easy. Oh, I could do this for at least 1 minute and 30 seconds. Thank goodness. We're gonna wrap our little towel around here because no matter how you do this, some of it's getting out. So give this a nice shake. What we're doing right here is we're frothing up all of that egg. We are frothing up that cream. We are meringuing this. We are trying to get this to be a very thick, hearty meal, a topping of a cocktail. I gotta do some more cardiovascular. I have to like expand my lungs or something. Can you do just lung training? We're gonna call that. Okay, we're gonna crack this open. Now, smells good. Smells like we're in a good place. Now, next bit we're gonna be putting in here is going to be our ice. Ice, in this case, and in all cases, is very important. We are going to be shaking this for a long time, so we do not want to put in a bunch of little ices that are going to create more melting points. We want one large agitator cube to find its way into this cocktail so that this piece of ice will do its darndest to mix up this drink without melting and becoming a problem for the rest of the drink. So we're going to take this little ice, we're going to drop it deep into here. Maybe we'll bring in ice cam right there. There we go. That is the stuff. And ooh, we are really going to shake this one. I will put on a timer here so that we can all see how long we've been going. We're going to put on 2 minutes right there. Can you guys see that? Yes. Oh, not like that you can't, and not like that you can't. Okay. Are we ready? There we go. And we're going to move this. We're going to really, I want this to work. Okay, excellent. Are we ready? You know what we're going to do? We're going to put it on for 2 minutes and 5 seconds because it takes me 5 seconds to start. Here we go. Ready? Boop. Okay. 3, 2, 1. We're a quarter of the way through. We're gonna make it. We're halfway. Now we're halfway. Oh my gosh. We're getting there. Oh, my hands are freezing. Oh God, we lost it. Come back, there we go. Oh. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. We did it. That's 2 minutes. It's supposed to go 15. All right. My goodness. I'm exhausted. All right. Make sure you get a very frosty mug. Now, these are my tequila mugs. Forget that they're tequila mugs. They're just the best Ramos Gin mugs that I have, or the frosty glasses that I have. Don't worry that they're that. We're going to take our Hawthorne strainer, and we're going to pour this right into our glass. Keep all of that ice out of there. Look how beautifully white that cocktail is. Get it right up to there. All of this foam at the end, that's what you're looking for. We want it all. We want all of it. All that foam is what we just did all of that 2 minutes of shaking for. And that's why we're even here. There we go. Thank you, guys. Hello, Bootopia. Thank you, Bootopia. Good to see you. There's a little sweat in there. Just a touch. Whew. Okay. The good news is that's the end of the physical labor to make this cocktail. The issue with this cocktail is, of course, now we have to wait. We can see right down here on this camera, we can see that little bit. This right here is our, that's the liquid. The rest of this is the foam. The foam will begin to consolidate and that liquid will start to rise. And when it gets to about here, you will find that that is the great middle point for meringue versus falling right over. So we're just gonna sit here, talk about stuff, you know, hang out. I'm gonna ice my biceps. That was an awful lot of shaking. I'm clearly very out of shape. I used to be able to do these at least 2 times a night. Now I feel like I'm really in some problems. Salt is great for cocktails, so sweat away. Yeah. I've never seen Kush swear so much. Oh, that's what you were saying, sweat. No, you never see me sweat so much. You should see me eating pho. I am a sweaty Betty when I eat some pho. We can see now that this line is beginning to grow. It's getting up there. You can start to tell if you shake the cocktail. You see how high it is up here? This line, you know, I don't have the greatest cameras in the whole world, but this right here, this is our line right now to beat. It's going to go up just a little bit more. And then we're going to give the Ramos its very, very special garnish. And the garnish is already in there. We're just going to add a little bit of soda water in order to get this out. Normally, you would want to garnish this with like an orange. I could not be bothered to get an orange today. So instead, we're going to take a lemon. We're just going to absolutely massacre a lemon, apparently. There we go. Just a little bit of lemon. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. So you can see a definite separation between the liquid part of this and the foam part of this. Now we have to put the fizz part of this cocktail in here. This is the way to do it. Now, I normally, you guys have ever watched Mixed Cocktail Hour. By the way, Mixed Cocktail Hour live on the 18th. It'll be a live show on the 18th. I would yell at Tammy if she puts the spoon in this way. You're supposed to stir with this part. For this one, you want to get a nice clean tipped spoon and you want to get into here. Let me show you this. See how very fizz that cocktail is. We want to take this and we just want to create a little bitty hole right in there. That's what we want. Then, fun little trick. Tips and tricks, tips and tricks. We're going to take our soda water here. This is our soda water right here. We're going to open that up. Make sure it's nice and chilly. A nice cold soda water will help out this drink a lot. And we're going to pour it into the container that we just were shaking out of so that we can get the rest of that meringue out of here. There we go. We are going to take our Hawthorne strainer, pour this right on top of here. We're going to put our straw all the way down here at the bottom. And then we are going to pour this soda water into the cocktail. Let's do it from here. Into the cocktail, and we are going to try our very best to get this to go right over the top. We're going to run this soda water straight down over. And this foam, as it gets down there to the bottom, should begin to pop over our edge. There we go. A little bit of soda water over the edge of... Oh, we've run out of soda water. Well, that's fine. We will pour the rest of it from here. Pour the rest of it from right here. And there we have it. Not the greatest Ramos Gin Fizz has ever been made. Certainly a little bit of foam. I think one of the issues here, strangely enough, we shook it too long. That is an issue. We can see all this good foam though. That foam is certainly part of the cocktail. We're going to squeeze this right on top. We're going to put our lemon right there. Now, the way that we can tell if we have done a good job, a bad job, or a fine job, take a metal spoon, put it into our cocktail. If it stands up, look at that. Stands right up. That right there, my friends, is... Let's see that you can see this. Right there. There we go. That right there, that's the way to go. We've done it. Whether or not the foam worked on this is one thing. We're going to try our very best to get the foam to work in the second shot. But the straw does stand up. We do have our foam. We might have over meringued this, and that is certainly an issue when you are shaking. Wait till we get to the second version. This is a Ramos Gin Fizz. Oh my God. Let me just, tips and tricks, hot tips. Put vanilla in here. The vanilla does not become a star of this show even a little bit. It is not the main source of beauty. It is not even a big flavor in this, but the vanilla absolutely makes this into a much nicer cocktail. Now, I happen to know that both Kyle and my wife have teamed up against me and are doing Sober-Tober. So I don't think they want this. Kyle, if you do want this, if you have decided that you're going to quit Sober-Tober and join me with the cool guys, you can come get this. But if you do not, then we're going to get into this next one. Mine is delicious with vanilla. Good. Paulie made his with vanilla. Absolutely. Okay. We can see, for my Ramos Gin Fizzes, I do not make a lot of them. I can get about 3/4 of them to do the right thing. I could not get that one to do exactly the right thing. Instead, though, today, we are going to show you exactly how to get this right just about every single time. And that is going to be with an ISI cream whipper. Same recipe, the exact same recipe as the last one. But instead of putting it into the shakers and shaking the crap out of them, we're going to put it in here and infuse some dinitrous oxide into it. And we are going to get the same effect as a big heavy shake, but with dinitrous oxide. So let's begin here. I feel like we got the proportions ready, so we're gonna blaze through this. I'm going to a haunted house tonight, so I can't talk to you guys forever, unfortunately. We're gonna go ahead and take a lime. We remember from past experiments that 1 full lime gave me half an ounce of lime juice. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to squeeze in half an ounce of lime juice. Oh, that one's not going to work. There we go. Half an ounce of lime juice. Perfect. We need half an ounce of some lemon juice. There we go. We need 3/4 of an ounce of some simple syrup. This one, yeah. 3/4 of an ounce of some simple syrup. We need half of an ounce of some heavy cream. Half of an ounce. There we go. Touch more. We need 2 ounces of some gin. There we go. We'll use the, what is this one called? It's called the Shut up. It's called the Rear Admiral Joseph's Gin. So cool. 2 ounces of some gin. 1, 2. Doing great. We need some egg whites. Same situation, my friends. You do not want to just pour this straight into it. So crack it into a different container here. I'll do it here. Crack it into a different container. Do the flip-flop method. Flip it here, flop it there, flip it there, flop it here. Remind Kyle that I have 2 eggs here. Please, Kyle, remind me to get those eggs out of here. Otherwise, we will have a very stink bar. That is not what we want. Pour that egg white into your vessel. We're going to be putting in our 2 dashes of some orange flower water. Oh, 1, 2, 3. The second dash was slight, so we went a little bit more, and then a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of artificial vanilla. Sorry, imitation vanilla extract. I guess it's not imitation. It's real vanilla. Just vanilla extract. That's what you call vanilla extract. Okay, we got that in here. Give this a shake before we put our cap on. Make sure, if you're using one of these, that you always remember that this little guy right here is the most important part of the apparati. This little guy. Let's move this over here. This little guy right here. This is your gasket. Without a gasket, this whole thing will blow up in your face, and we do not want that. Oh goodness! Don't worry, guys. Kaizenor over on Kick has got our back. Thank you, Kaizenor. Appreciate you. All right, we are going to give this a shake, but not a long shake. Get that all in there. Open that back up, and we are going to put a little bit of ice in here. Just a little bit, just to make it nice and chilly. I don't have small ice. I only have large ice, so we will have to use our ice cracker. I almost never use this guy, but this is an ice cracker. There we go. Put that there. Cracking that ice. There we go. That should be as much ice as we will need. All the ice is in there now. We have ice kind of everywhere. Hopefully the bar's clean. If not, it's just me drinking it, so get off of there. Perfect. All right, now close this. We're going to open this. I bet we have one in there. Nope, we do not. One in the chamber. Close this. Now, This right here is a dinitrous oxide canister. A nitrous oxide, dinitrous oxide, N2O canister. We can see that because it has not been opened, it is good. Oh, thank you. USC is up 17 to 10. Phew. What we want to do is we want to infuse all this bubbles. We're going to take all this pressure and we're going to pressurize this whole can. So we're going to get real close here. And then, let's see if we can, we'll put it here and we'll get the sound. The sound is the coolest thing. Are we ready? There we go. Then we listen for more sounds. Whew. All good. We want to give this a shake. That dinitrous oxide, the same thing, like if you put a CO2 canister into something, you give it a shake, it is going to infuse more CO2. This is what we're looking for here. Give this a shake. Everything starts to get very, very chilly. People always get worried whenever there's a lot of pressure. This thing right here, see this indent right there, how it's a divot? That is our pressure valve. So if this thing starts popping out, we know we're in trouble. But until that thing starts popping out, we are good to give this a nice shake. Shake, 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 shake. Much easier, not the 2-minute shake that we were looking for before. There we go. Then, take another very chilly glass. Right there. We want to put just a little bit of soda water here at the bottom. Just a touch. Right there. Touch of very chilly soda water into a very, very chilly glass. We're going to give that a shake. Paul, you're telling me the score of USC, but how's my audio sync? Let me know. Yes, the ISI whipper is ready to go, says Keithy Austin. Absolutely, we are ready. Whew. Shall we do it? I think we shall. We're going to turn this directly upside down. You want this part acting as a completely vertical line. We want this to absolutely be at a 90-degree angle with what we're up to, and then we are going to squeeze it in. All right. All right. Oh, I didn't get any of that on this camera, huh? All right, we're just gonna pour this in. Now that is our very nice foam. We can already see some separation going in here. Audio sync is better. Whatever you did, but do whatever you did earlier to get it closer. 1 second, guys. We're just gonna get this a little closer because we're at 30 milliseconds. We're going to get it to 50 milliseconds. Close. Check, check. How are we doing? Feeling good? This, you guys probably won't be able to tell with how my how this camera works. This is a much more uniformed foam. There is certainly a lot less large bubbles in here. There are very teeny tiny bubbles. We can already see a major separation coming to us from here at the bottom. There's also actually a little bit extra in here, which, you know, nobody's ever said no to a second drink. We put the same amount of liquid into both of them, and we're getting a full second drink over on this side. Probably a third one if we really were going to be selfish about it. Let this sit here for a sec. How are we doing with our foam? Oh, yeah. Okay. So now our foam, this foam is incredibly foamy. It is not moving. We can see even like right here, there are these large bubbles. Those aren't going nowhere. Hopefully, we will be able to... Is that better? Thank you. Thank you, DC Debbie Clark. Now I'm better. I'm at 50 milliseconds seems to be about the time that we want to do. We could probably go up to 70 milliseconds. Looks good, but do the clap. I feel good about that. All right. This, I'm just going to show you guys what I'm doing. This right here. Oh, this right here. If I indent this at all with my finger, look at that. It leaves a little hole. That's what we're looking for. We already have a little bit of soda water in here, so we are still off, says Kyle Tender. But by how much? Is it getting worse? We're going to go into here. Right there. And we're going to pour this slowly in to see if we can't get a little bit of, oh, hold on, buddy. That's what we're looking for. That's the way we want it. This is a Ramos Gin Fizz. We can get it up to 2 inches off of the top. If we were to let this sit for a little bit longer and let these bubbles consolidate for a little bit longer, we could probably get a much higher lift. But it's a live show. I'm not going to make you guys sit here and chit chat with me while we wait for the whole thing to get it going. But this right here, an incredibly simple Ramos Gin Fizz. The first one took us to about the 45-minute mark, plus 3 minutes of just straight shaking. This one, almost no shaking, just a little bit of this action. And we were able to get these beautiful lines, or this beautiful up and over. Let's do the straw test. Drop this deep down in here. And that just stays completely where it is. That's not going anywhere. Let's put it on the spinner so that we can all see exactly what we're up to with this thing. There we go. That is the Ramos Gin Fizz. If you want to make one but do not have an ISI whipper or a cream whipper, let me recommend you something. Do not shake it for the required 15 minutes. Shake it for 15 seconds as hard as you can with no ice in there, and then shake it for about 45 seconds with some ice in there, and you'll get a much, much nicer fizz. But this is clearly the easiest way to go. We are seeing that this straw has not moved. It has not gone anywhere. This is the absolute best way to make a gin. Excuse me, I'm about to explode. A gin Ramos Fizz. Let's taste it, shall we? This one feels way lighter than the other one. It is. It's fluffier. Certainly fluffier. What is stuck in there? I don't trust it. Oh, yeah. Certainly, this one, thicker. Got more to it. This is the one we shook by hand. This one, incredibly light. Almost airy. Almost sort of, if we're having heavy cream in here, it is almost disappearing. If you guys are just sitting here, let me just bump this up to 70 milliseconds and see if we can't figure this out. You know what? We're going to go up to 100 milliseconds. See if we got it. Okay, check, check, close. How am I doing? We're going to clap. You guys let me know. The Ramos Gin Fizz, created by a guy named Henry Charles, but we like to call him Hank Carl Ramos, 1888. This was one of the very few cocktails that we can absolutely trace back to a single person in a single time. Kyle doesn't think it's changing. That can't be true. Oh, God. Okay. I don't know what to do then. Anyway, that's what we got, guys. We have done a class very close. Paul says very close sync. If you guys don't mind, since we're sitting here, we're just gonna bump this up to. We're gonna bump this up to, I don't know, 150 milliseconds. 150 milliseconds. That's good. Check, check. Hello. 150. We're at 150. We did it. Is that Kyle telling me that 150 is good? Maybe. I don't know. Anyway. That's what we got. What we're going to do from now on, or from here on out, is check my sync. So if you guys want to hang out more and check my video, my audio sync, I think that we're in a good spot. Paul says that looks good. Kyle, anything? You two are my sync kings. This week, what do we got? This week we're kind of all over the place. We will be having shows this week, no doubt about it. But when will they be? I don't know. So I will do my very best at the beginning of the week. Looks sounds synced to Keith, and he's not even a sync king, but here he is. Now we gotta talk about who the real sync kings are. Kyle, you let me know. Anyway, we will be having shows this week, but when, I don't know. We may have to have a Sunday show. I have a thing that's on Saturday that may go too long, or else you guys let me know. We can do a Dr. Kush late night show, which, you know, for us on the West Coast, that's one thing. That's certainly one thing. But I know that for people like our very good friend Moose, that is insane. So you guys let me know if a later night show, maybe starting an hour later, would help anybody or really hurt some people. I would like to know that. But we are going to continue to put out shows this week. Just we don't know when. It is the fall of Fizz, so we will be doing Fizz cocktails. Hopefully, we are helping your bellies and your minds and your hearts heal from this god-awful summer, which for some reason we thought I had even taken my favorite sweater out of its moth bag and wore it for about 30 minutes just 2 weeks ago. And now it was 106 degrees today. Cyrus is in for a late show. Thank you, Cyrus. First of all, let me give Cyrus his sounds. Cyrus, oh, my phone's over here. Cyrus, let me just give you sounds real quick, and then we will say goodbye to all of the people. Dang, there it is. Oh, not that. Sounds don't work. Don't worry about that, guys. Anyway, you guys are the greatest. Thank you so much for showing up. Hopefully, you guys have made some Gin Ramos Fizzes. If you did, please send me pictures of them. I want to see them. If you did not, send me a picture of whatever else you were drinking. And as always, you guys are the greatest community on the internet. Remember, these classes will always remain free, but if you can't help out, there's a couple ways you can do it. First of all, I have a Patreon. Second of all, I have a PayPal. Third, I have a Venmo. And fourth, and more important, tell your people about it. We do classes Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Sometimes Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. We do classes all over the time. Join us. And also, if you can't join us, well, now that worked. What the heck is going on? If you oh, here, I got you right here. 1 second. You're welcome, Cyrus. If you can't help out monetarily or friend-wise, please, oh please, show up. Classes Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. We will always be here to be a fun online community, mostly focused on drinking, but focus on all kinds of other stuff too. So thank you guys, and why don't we hang out some other time? That's what I got for you. As we always say in this place, other than this thing's not working, we say goodbye. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
a bus ticket, I'll pay you back honest.
Okay, okay.
How about pretty please?
Oh, please, oh, please, oh, please.
I'm having a party, and you're invited!
Bye! Bye! Bye!
When did you discover that you were so beautiful?